Mixed numbers are not usually very helpful for most of the stuff that we do, especially 980, where we're looking at slope of lines. So it's pretty important for us to be able to change these mixed numbers into improper fractions. So an improper fraction just has the top number, which is the numerator. It's bigger than the denominator, the bottom number. So let's look at a couple of these. Let's look at number 2 first. So this is -1 and 9/16. Okay. So we're saying we have -1 and 9/16, which also would be negative there, right? So if we had 16 parts in this fraction right here, only 9 of them would be there. Okay. It's kind of like saying we have in a pan of brownies. I like brownies. We've got 9 pieces out of 16, but this says that we got another pan right there, okay? So because that's a full pan, so this is kind of like saying that we got -9 over 6. No, not -9. Dang it. -16 over 16 pieces, and then we'll tag on to that another 9/16. So when we combine these, we get -25/16. Now that's just one way to look at it, and that's really what it's telling us. But there's another method to solve these, to change these into improper fractions. So let's do number 1, because these aren't too bad. So we got 2 and 3/5. So we got 2 whole parts and then 3/5. So this is just kind of a little strategy to use, but it takes memorization. So I don't know. We use it enough though where we kind of memorize it anyways. So we're going to take the 2, the whole value, and multiply it by the denominator 5. That will tell us how much the 2 is worth. So 2 times the 5, and then we add the 3. So 2 times 5 is 10, plus the 3 is 13. So this equals 13. We keep the fifths because that's the size of the pieces that we're comparing. And this would be the improper fraction for number 1. So this one, we got 20 and 3/8. So we'll use that process again. 20 times 8, again that's multiply. That's going to be 160. And then we'll add the 3. So this ends up being 163 over 8, improper fraction. So there's number 2, number 1, and number 4. Well, yes, now they want us to change these improper fractions to mixed numbers or whole numbers, either way. This is just regular division right here. So if I had 23/8, then I can just divide this by 8 right here. Well, 8 doesn't go into 2. But it will go into 23 twice. 2 times 8 is 16. When we subtract 3, I got to borrow 1. 13 minus 6 is 7. 1 minus 1 is 0. Well, 8 doesn't go into 7. So we had 2 wholes. We had 7 remaining out of 8 parts. And that would be the new mixed number. Let's try number 8 though. Actually, let's try something a little bit more convenient for this strategy. Number 6. Here we got 15/7. So if I take away, right, I've got 15 of these sevenths. If I take away 7 of these, then I have a whole. And that would leave me with 8. And if I take away 7 out of that, it's going to give me 2 whole parts. And then I've got this 1 remaining. This is pretty much what division would give you here. So you got 2, and then you got 1 remaining out of the 7 parts. And this would be the answer to 6. All right, so -161 over 4. Which method do you guys want me to use? The second method will take a long time with this one because it's big. Okay, so I would recommend using division. Now, this number already has this negative here. So if we just acknowledge that the answer will be a negative, then we get ignore it. Just as long as we don't forget to tag it on at the end, okay? So this ends up being 161 divided by 4. 4 doesn't go into 1, but it will go into 16 4 times. 4 times 4 is 16. Subtract leaves us with 0. We'll drop the 1. 4 doesn't go into 1, so that will just be a 0. And we end up with 40. And yes, we had the 1 remaining, so 1 out of 4. So negative 40 and 1/4 is the mixed number. Number 9, place the numbers on the number line below and label them with the letter. Okay, so on this, we can see that between each whole value, 0 and 1, 0, negative 1, doesn't matter. These have all been split up into fifths because we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts separating each of the whole values there. So when we look at negative 1/5 for A, well, this would be negative 1/5 right here. That's one part out of the 5, and it's in the negative direction from 0. Negative is to the left. Next up, we got this B, which is negative 9/5. Now again, each of the marks represents one of the fifths. That's negative. So from 0, we're going to go to the left 9 of the fifths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that is where the next point would be B. Now we've got C, which is 2/5. And from 0, again, we can count 1 2/5 right here. So D, that one will be pretty close to A. That's a negative 3/5. So 1, 2, 3, D right there. And this is nice because we can color code this. Let's do one of these other ones. Which one? D, E, or F? Let's do F. We haven't done a mixed number, right? So negative 2 and 4/5. Well, there's negative 2 right there. And then we've got another 4/5, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4/5. That's where that point is for F. Identify the fractions or mixed numbers labeled with the letters A and B on the scale below. So right here, we're in the negatives, because this is where 0 is. And we can see that this one, these parts, 1, 2, 3, each of these has been split up into thirds. So when we look at A, which is right here, right, fraction or mixed number, that's good. So it's at negative 1, but then it goes to the left another 1 out of the 3 parts. So that would be A. B, again, we see we have negative 2 right there, but then in addition to that, we've got this other third, right? 1, 2, 3 thirds. So that's a negative 2 and 1/3.